Hi everyone! In today's video, I'm going to share with you 3 types of vegetable soup. Essentially, every vegetable soup falls into one of these categories. The benefit of knowing this information is that it will help you formulate recipes on the fly based on the ingredients you have. The first type of vegetable soup is clear soup. The most common type of clear vegetable soup is vegetable broth. I make my own vegetable broth from different vegetable scraps that I collect throughout the week. Things like onion skins and stems, garlic peels, the ends from leeks and zucchini, carrot tops and carrot peels, tomato tops, leftover leek leaves, the top of a bell pepper, and anything else that I would otherwise throw away. Put all the scraps into a large pot and add a few more vegetables and herbs to give the broth more flavor. Cover everything with water and bring it to a boil. Let everything simmer for at least an hour, the longer the better, and then strain the broth through a fine mesh strainer. If you're going to serve this broth as standalone soup, I would recommend that you also add some salt and seasonings, perhaps a sheet of kombu or a little bit of miso paste, anything that adds depth of flavor. You can serve it plain or add some vegetables. The idea is that the soup is based on clear, unthickened broth. The second type of vegetable soup is thick soup, which is heartier and more filling than clear soup. The broth is thickened either with vegetable puree or starchy vegetables or with cream or roux. Let's start with a recipe for vegetable soup thickened by vegetables. First things first, sauté an onion with a few cloves of garlic over medium heat until translucent. Next up are the vegetables. I'm starting with a couple of tomatoes. Chop them up and sauté them with the aromatics and herbs. As far as the herbs and spices go, I'm using basil, bay leaf, black pepper, minced onion, oregano, smoked paprika, and thyme. I actually decided to use fresh thyme instead because I needed to use it up. Of course, you can use any vegetables you like. Here I have a couple of celery sticks, a few carrots, and a sweet potato. Potatoes, whether regular or sweet, are great in soups because their starch naturally thickens the vegetable broth. So the potato is our thickening agent number 1. A thickening agent number 2 is V8 juice. If you have never heard of V8 juice, it's vegetable juice or vegetable puree made from the juices of tomatoes, carrots, celery, beets, parsley, lettuce, watercress, and spinach. So as you can see, there are 2 thickening agents in this soup: starchy potatoes and vegetable puree. Add some vegetable broth, a little bit of salt, and bring it to a boil. Reduce the heat to a simmer and cook until the potatoes become tender. Last but not least, vegetable soups thickened by cream or roux. I have a few recipes for these types of soups on my channel already. I will link to the recipes in the description box below. So just to give you a few examples. Cream of broccoli soup, which is thickened by cashew cream. Cream of mushroom soup that contains plant-based milk. creamy butternut squash soup, which is actually thickened not only by coconut milk, but also the starch that comes from the butternut squash soup. So it's like hybrid soup. And that's it, the 3 types of soup that cover virtually everything. As you have seen in the video, there are a few different types of vegetable soup. Personally, I love vegetable soup. I love all kinds of vegetable soup. Sometimes I even eat it for breakfast. Now, Tanner likes vegetable soup, but I don't think you like it as much as I do.
I probably wouldn't eat it for breakfast.
I don't always eat it for breakfast, just sometimes.
But, however, I think that this is a delicious soup based on Petra's broth. I really like it. I've obviously had a lot of input into it, so I know what I like, and I can tell Petra, the chef, to make it. So it's like marinated vegetable scraps, but then you also put thyme that's been fresher than normal in this one.
Yeah.
And I think that really helps create like a very pungent flavor for the broth. The smoked paprika interacts with it really well because there are notes of sweetness all the way through, the aftertaste even, and as it goes across your palate, there are notes of sweetness coming across, and I think it really is the thyme. Basil, oregano kind of give it more of like a round, savory flavor, if I could describe it that way. But then the thyme gives it this sweet notes coming through, all the way through.
You love thyme and rosemary. Anytime I put fresh thyme or fresh rosemary into soup, you always comment on it.
I think that's critical to this recipe. So Petra's broth and then some fresh herbs are going to be your best bet for this one. And I think you're really going to enjoy it.
Alright, so I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, comment below, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you next time.